We are going to go and explore a jolly old manor house in jolly old England, have a jolly good time.
Yes, there's not even any flowers.
There's not even any flowers. Steve don't want it now, he's over it. He hates it, that's it. National Trust is over. We're cancelling it all. And, of all things, having a relationship with a man. Can you imagine such a thing, Stephen?
I know.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It's unheard of.
I know.
Morning.
Morning.
Right, good morning. The sun's shining on our face, sorry, so hopefully that doesn't affect things too much. Right, you might have noticed in one of our recent videos that we mentioned our National Trust membership. So we've just got one, a joint one between the two of us, and it works out about £11 a month, which is pretty good when you consider the price of some of these places. So we want to, of course, get the most out of our National Trust membership while we've got it and while we've got some time to actually explore. So we are off to another one. And where are we off to, Stevie?
Something icky.
Something icky. Ick Worth House.
That's it.
So Ick Worth House near Bury St Edmunds, and it is a historical house that has lots of historical characters and obscenely rich people that have lived there in the past, I guess.
Yeah, some pretty filthy people as well.
Yeah, there's all sorts of characters that have lived there that we've looked into, so quite interesting, in a long running line of the same family, which did end about 25 years ago. But the house has been in the National Trust's hands since the 50s, like many of these properties, and we're off to have an explore.
Yeah.
I think there's quite a bit to see there. The weather hasn't been brilliant. We had a terrible storm last night. I think we just want January to be over now, don't we? Like, we've had enough of this. But the sun's come out, the wind's still strong, but it is sunny and it's not so cold today, which is brilliant. So we are going to head to Ick Worth House.
Yeah, we've done our shopping, we're going to get fuel, and we'll see you there.
Right, so we've arrived at Ick Worth Estate, but before we go exploring, time for a bit of lunch. What are you making us, Stevie?
Making us tuna wraps with mustard, lettuce, red onion, and pickles. And I use pickle water in the tuna as well.
Oh, I love this. And it's really nice. Just as it all seeps out the bottom. Perfect timing with the film in there.
I just found it as an alternative to having mayonnaise. It's still being flavourful.
Right, now that we're a bit more full up and satisfied after lunch, we are going to go and explore a jolly old manor house in jolly old England and have a jolly good time.
Yes.
And just imagine what it's like once upon a time to have been obscenely rich with lots of servants.
And forget that we're jolly poor.
Yes, absolutely. Let's have a look.
Let's go. It's going well.
Right, we're like 2 minutes into this and it's already gone wrong. I'm sure I read on the website that you could look around the main bit of the house without going on a tour. So there's all sorts of artworks in there, which Stephen was really looking forward to seeing, and a big silverware collection. I thought the tour was just for the other parts of the house, but apparently you have to go on the tour to see any of the interior of the house now. So we went to book to go on it, and that's our own fault, but it's completely booked up. But it's either my fault for thinking that you could go in, or they've put the wrong information on the website. I don't know, it probably is my fault, to be fair. But that's all right, we can have a little wander around the grounds and we can still see the house and the gardens from the outside, so that's not too bad. But yeah, Steve's got a little bit of a rant. Go on, have a moan, Steve, have a moan.
Well, I can already tell you what I think about this before I've even got through it.
Well, why don't you tell us?
Absolute rubbish. Why would you pay £14 just to walk around the grounds? There's nothing in here that's going to be worth £14. It's not it's all that more for less crap again. Why do we need a tour to tell us what to look at?
I guess it's a security thing, but as Stephen said, he thinks it's probably more to increase demand so that more people pay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just very cynical because everybody's agreeing.
No, Stephen, you're cynical.
No.
Oh my God.
How is it 14 quid just to walk around this? I'm already annoyed.
We don't know it's 14 quid. We can't remember the ticket price, but whatever price it is, yeah, it's basically a lot of money to spend if you haven't got the membership, which luckily we just have now, to walk around some grounds without being able to go in the building, because that's an expensive day out, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got to go for a barrel, haven't they? Making you pay to walk.
He loves National Trust already. Look at it. Look at how he's endorsing it. 2 minutes in. But regardless of that, we're still enjoying having the membership, because at least we can go to these places without having to pay out for something up front. And by doing it in a van, it means we get to see more places in the year than we ever would have done before. So it works out well. The same with English Heritage. Even though he'd moan about it every time, at least we got to see quite a few different things. But never mind, we're going to have a wander around Ick Worth Estate, the massive gardens. Well, it's just a modest garden really, isn't it, I suppose?
There's not even any flowers.
There's not even any flowers. So we'll have a look around the lavish estate, imagine what it was like over the centuries, and we'll take you on an exterior tour of the Ick Worth house when we get there.
And we'll be charging everybody a £1.50 entrance fee to see the snow.
Of course we will. Right, just to confirm, it was completely my own fault. It does say on the website that the house is just tours, so, you know, I'll take that one. Steve don't want it now, he's over it. He hates it, that's it. National Trust is over. We're cancelling it all.
National Trust just come back here.
It wouldn't come back here. We'll just come back on another day, then we can see it.
And I'm sure there's lots of people thinking, oh, for goodness sake. They're just moaning, he's just moaning. And you know, you're probably right, I am just moaning. And people might think, well, it's not very British.
Well, it's your USP,
the British don't complain. And what I can tell you is that's a myth and absolute rubbish. What we do is smile in your face and say it's fine, and then we walk away mumbling and spluttering about how annoyed we are.
Yeah, we just complain behind
and
closed doors.
Some of us, like me, will probably sit there spitting feathers for about 2 days afterwards.
Doesn't sound like you.
That's the British way.
We're really selling this video, aren't we? Come to Ick Worth, we said. It's only because we're just pissed off we couldn't get inside. Let's move on, let's have a nice time and get over it, shall we?
I did say there was something icky about it.
You did.
Anyway, we're going to be positive for the rest of the video.
Yeah, I think there's enough negativity now. Let's have some happy sunshine faces. Paint it on. You know, one thing that is really stunning about this estate, and we haven't even got to the house yet, and I'm sure it's lovely, is all the old trees that have been allowed to grow here. They're not in kind of woodlands or little pockets or anything, they're just individually left to grow, and they're absolutely gigantic, the proper definition of ancient tree. And it's really just like a stark reminder of how very rarely you see trees left to grow like that, all kind of just all sweeping limbs and gnarled trunks and little bobbly bits and stuff that just tells of its age, centuries of living. They're just rarely allowed to grow like that now. And you know, even when you go to woods around the country, and there's not too many of them, let's be honest, compared to what most of the land is given over to, you don't see trees like that very often. So one thing about these estates, and this isn't the first one we've seen it on, Knoll Park in Sevenoaks in Kent is a good example of where the trees are protected and have been allowed to grow like that. So it just shows what could be, doesn't it? Something about an old wall, isn't there, that just kind of evokes all these feelings. I don't know what it is. Desire for a big old property probably, but other things apart from that.
Fancy having your own church.
the driveway's just not big enough, Stephen.
No.
Right, so there's been an estate at Ick Worth for absolutely centuries, but it wasn't until the Hervey family, which is Harvey, but with an E in place of the A, so I'm just assuming it's a pronounced Hervey, acquired the estate in the 15th century, that it soon started to prosper and flourish. And the estate has stayed within the Hervey family right up until modern times. And over the years, there's been quite the collection of characters throughout the family that have lived here. Including in the 1700s one Lord John Hervey, who was known for his effeminate style, sharing a mistress, his bisexual relationships, and, of all things, having a relationship with a man. Can you imagine such a thing, Stephen?
I know.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It's unheard of.
I know. And fast forward to the 20th century, and the last in the line of the Hervey family, a man named John, was the last person to live at Ick Worth, and he was said to have blown a £21 million fortune on all sorts of vices, including selling the family possessions in order to keep such a thing going. And that was it. He was the last resident. So it's sort of like a poetic end to the line of such indulgence at this grand house. Anyway, luckily for us, the house has been in the hands of the National Trust since the 1950s, so people like us can walk around and enjoy it, and Stephen can go around and moan and complain about everything. And that's what it's all for.
Hi. Did you enjoy the view, Dan?
I love the view.
That'd be £50, please.
Oh, off. We are in Bury St Edmunds. We left Ick Worth. Bury St Edmunds was the next nearest town, and we are in, as you just saw, a really wonderful looking car park. You know, it is what it is. You can't always have the scenic views.
Doesn't matter once everything's closed, does it?
No, that's it, and it's fine. And a town stay is sometimes really good because, for all the obvious reasons, it's right next to something. So tomorrow's plan is to go and explore Bury St Edmunds. We know absolutely nothing about it. Stephen's been once before. My assumption was that it's probably quite posh, because most things in Suffolk actually are, or they seem to be, and it sounds posh, and a quick look suggests that it might be a little bit, maybe, who knows. So we'll have a wander tomorrow. Ick Worth, sum it up, Stephen.
I mean, I was feeling particularly grumpy.
Oh, really?
Particularly
Never would have
grumpy.
guessed.
However, I do still stand by that you shouldn't have to pay £12 to walk around the grounds like that. I'm just not in the mood for it today, and I can't be asked.
And that's the promotion for English Heritage. No, the other one, National Trust. We've moved on now. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all the same. So I did enjoy it, but Stephen's correct. If you can't go into the house and you don't manage to get onto the tour, then paying £12 to £14, whatever it is, for a ticket, if there's two of you, so it's £24 at least, to walk around some grounds, obviously not worth it. That's ridiculous. Very glad we've got the National Trust membership, though, because that makes it, you know, not so bad. So some places, like when we went to Blickley or whatever it's called the other day, brilliant. We had a great time and we got to tour the house. This one, yeah, it was nice, but obviously we wouldn't have paid the fee.
No, I wanted to go inside. I wanted to see the art.
But this is what it was like with English Heritage, wasn't it? So you get the good with the bad, you know?
The thing is with English Heritage is that you could always go inside because there were never any windows and doors.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It was always just rubble. So, you know, you could always go in, couldn't you?
You could always see right through it.
Yeah.
So very impressive to look at, but if you can get into the house, do that. So make sure you book onto the tour first. We are going to settle down in this strange car park, which is very busy with vehicles moving all around us. So I'm not sure how this is going to be. And we will catch up with you tomorrow morning.
Aye.
See you in the morning.
Bye.
And good morning from Bury St Edmunds and a car park. Morning, Steve.
Morning.
All right.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
We're going to go and look round the market.
If it's on, which it should be.
And I think there's a cathedral, isn't there?
Yeah.
For us to have a little peek at. If it's free, I'm not paying for it.
Of course you're not. Right, so last night, obviously, as we said, we stayed in Bury St Edmunds. It is just a car park, but it's an allowed one. Now, we don't always necessarily share the spots that we stay in. I suppose sometimes you don't want to over kind of promote something if it means people are going to rush to it a lot. But most of the places we do find, a lot of them are on Park for Night. So, you know, there's no great secret here. And that's got far more exposure than anything we could ever show. But this one, I feel like it's all right to kind of rave about and say where it is because, well, I'm not going to rave about it, but It's a place that's actually allowed in the town centre, near the town centre, but clearly by the local council, and there are 5 designated spots for motorhomes within this car park, so you can stay overnight.
It's £3.50 for the day.
£3.50 for the day.
And then £1 overnight.
Okay, so £4.50 for the whole 24-hour period. That's really not bad when you are right in the middle of what looks like a very pretty town. So as anybody who's in a van knows, these sorts of things in the UK are extremely rare. So we're very grateful to have found it. It's really nice. There was a bit of noise last night, and it is a bit strange and uncomfortable because the motorhome spots are literally right at the front of the car park rather than tucked out the way. So you feel a bit exposed and like there's cars going around you, but it's nothing too bad. You get used to that in a van anyway. Yeah, good little spot. Yeah. Very grateful to Bury St Edmunds Council for allowing it.
Yeah.
And there's toilets and, you know, all sorts of bits.
Yeah. So come on then, let's go and explore.
All right, it's just shutting me up now.
Aye.
And one other quick thing, because I love to waffle on, obviously, as you know. Sometimes I feel like with our channel, like I don't know if it's ever confusing, because sometimes it feels like we're a camper van channel and a van life, as you call it, channel. Sometimes it feels like we're more like a travel channel and we're just going to places and exploring, and it's far less about our life in a camper van. I'm not sure what people want to see more than the other. I suspect there's both sides, because it feels like some people enjoy us going to visit places, some people enjoy us talking about living in a van and showing all those aspects. But I think for us, it's always going to be a mishmash. It's always going to vary, because we wanted to kind of show what it's like to be in a van and what you can do when you do that. So that means, of course, sometimes we are just going to go out exploring, because one of the benefits of living in a van is we actually get to do that. So yeah, sometimes it's more like a touristy travel channel, sometimes it's more like the bare bones of living in a tiny van, a couple, 2 blokes living in a van, you know.
Both of those things are our life. So.
Both of those things are our life, as Stephen just said. So we are going to show both, but it's just that some videos are going to have more than the other. So hopefully you guys like all of it. But I know we can't please everybody. Some people will want one aspect, some people want more of the other. You know, we've had people say to us before, we'd like to see you do more history stuff, or we'd like to see you do more walks. I'm sure people just want to see the nitty gritty of being in a van, you know. I don't know, but we're going to show all of it, because as Stephen said, that is our life and it will vary. But yeah, just kind of expressing my thoughts here, really. I guess it is a bit of a mishmash of a channel and doesn't necessarily fit into one box, but I think we kind of like that, don't we? I think that kind of works. Hopefully it works. I don't know. Hopefully you're enjoying it anyway, whatever we show you. But aside from its bustling town, Bury St Edmunds is steeped in history and buildings dating back to the Middle Ages and even earlier, and nothing sums this up more than its impressive cathedral, which towers above the town and was built among the remains of what was once one of England's richest monasteries. Right, good evening. So we've settled down now. We left Bury St Edmunds. What did you think, Stevie?
Yeah, I like Bury St Edmunds.
Nice town.
Yeah, it's alright.
We didn't get to see much of it, so it was quite brief, a bit of a whistle-stop tour, but it was very pretty. I feel like we say that about a lot of places, but that's the beauty of travelling around, isn't it? You see a lot of beautiful towns and cities and villages.
Pretty places.
Yeah. We're very lucky, and being in a van gives us the chance to do that. And that's where we're going to leave you this week.
Yep. So don't forget to like, subscribe, push your notification bell.
Push it, press it all.
And leave us some comments if there's somewhere you'd like to see us go, because we often just pick it for ourselves, or just basically we do it on a whim.
Yeah.
We don't really choose much, but you know, if you know some really nice places to go and see, let us know and we'll go and have a look.
Yeah, any suggestions you've got, a bit like the point I was making earlier about how our channel is sometimes like camper van stuff and sometimes it's travel stuff. If you've got anything you prefer to see more of, what do you think? You know, what would you like more of? We're going to just probably film whatever regardless. But any suggestions for places to visit, as Stephen said, or any content that you'd like to see more of, perhaps, let us know and we'll see what we can do. We might not do it, but, you know, we're always open to suggestions.
So with that, we're going to love you and leave you, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for all your support. We really appreciate it. And thank you for still being there on our journey. To new and old subscribers alike, we're really grateful for it.
All right, that's it.
Right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.